I woke in the ruined nave of a church. The place looked older than me by centuries. My eyes quickly found the corpse of a murdered maiden. Had I done this? Surely not, I thought to myself as I looted the strange, wizened finger from her person. Not like she'd need it anyways, I said aloud in a cold tone while moving to the door, wanting to figure out where I was, not that I even remembered where I'd been. The giant ethereal tree before me was like something out of a dream, the far closer dark fortress like something from a nightmare. Where had I been whisked away to? Seeing the path forward, I hurried along before coming to this rickety old bridge. Wary of its strength, I slowly crossed. Unwisely peering into the bottomless chasm of fog which surrounded the towers of land the bridge connected. Safely across, I breathed a sigh of relief, jogging along towards the archway ahead. Thinking beyond must have been the church's graveyard. It certainly seemed to be, but who was this woman, immortalized in stone, watching over the graveyard? Before I could ponder further, a hideous creature landed before me, and I ran but was blocked by an impenetrable wall of thick golden fog. Just as quickly the creature was upon me. It seemed human, or like it once was human. I tried to parry its strikes, slash at its disjointed limbs, but its brutal strength overwhelmed as darkness enveloped me. Was this it? I'd already died after just arriving in this strange land?
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on her side. We found her here after all.
I was alive? That creature hadn't killed me after all. But where was I now? Who was this woman before me? The words from her mouth made little sense. One of her kind. What did that mean? Was she not human? Though her voice was soothing as I passed out once more. When I finally woke again, I had the strength to pull myself from the wet floor of this dank cavern. Whatever this strange new land was, there was but a single door through which I'd begin to learn more. Checking my person, I found two strange, ornate flasks. One crimson, one cerulean. The crimson liquid smelled wonderfully rejuvenating, probably to aid a warrior in lasting longer in a fight, whilst the cerulean drink had a far more sharp and clarifying aroma. Perhaps to help one refocus in battle. Did that woman place them upon me when I was passed out? She must have. If I ever saw her again, I'd make it a point to repay her kindness. The strange doors inside this cavern gave way to what seemed like some kind of crypt, with a warm, glowing effigy in the center of the room. On the right was another impenetrable wall of fog. though I could actually see past it this time at least. Perhaps the strange statue needed some kind of key to dispense the fog. Pushing on, I found 2 odd items, another disembodied finger, and a small ceremonial-looking knife. The fact that 2 of the 5 items I'd found in this land so far were fingers disturbed me while I rode an odd lift up to the surface, if I was lucky. The odd torches flanking the door to the open world, God's willing, burned with a strange, mesmerizing white fire that I'd never encountered before. The door was thankfully very light, as it opened up to a twisted landscape. There, on the plateau, the dark fortress from before, which meant that structure to its left was the church I awoke in. Moving forward, I plucked a handful of berries from a bush as I made way to another of those golden effigies, sprouting from the ground. Nearby stood a rather oddly dressed man. He made me feel uneasy, but perhaps he could shed some light on this land for me. His comments quickly annoyed me. I knew not what a Tarnished was, nor why I was one, or any of these other things and places he spoke of.
Without an invitation to the round table hold, you are fated.
Feeling that any more chatter with him would have my knife in his throat before long, I turned to leave, heading for that ruined church while grabbing more berries, and a small golden effigy too, deciding it would be best to avoid the giant gilded knight. I crouched low and followed the beaten path from the brush, lest the titanic warrior spot me. Worried over how keen that mounted warrior clad in gaudy armor was, I quickly backed into the bush, praying that within the ruins of the church would either be no one at all, or someone of a more pleasant temperament than that white-clad snob from before. With his back turned quietly as I could, I made my way to the church, nabbing a golden rune from the base of a crucifix before heading inside. Finding another glowing effigy to rest at inside, alongside a merchant. He at least had the air of one as I approached him.
You're a Tarnished. I can see it.
That word
I can
again,
also see
tarnished.
that you're not after
What
my
was that?
throat. Then why
Perhaps it
purchase
didn't
for
matter.
something?
Me
am
being
Tarnished,
one didn't seem to bother
and
him
they
at all.
refine goods.
He was polite enough to be pleasant company. To repay that politeness, I decided to sell him that golden rune and ask what of his wares he would recommend I buy.
The runes. You should buy yourself a crafting kit. A crafting kit allows you to make basic items on your own. Essential, really, if you intend to survive out here for any duration. The kit costs a bundle, and I admit I do take my cut. But the important thing is that you survive. Every customer counts, after all. I'm glad you took my warning to heart. You've made an excellent choice.
I found myself chuckling at his frankness with the price of the kit and taking his cut. That, combined with his general demeanor and the usefulness of it too, made the hefty purchase quite easy in my opinion. Hopefully, I'd meet others as endearing as this merchant before long. I doubt it. But you never know.